God gave me a personal application of that verse. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 27. And it means to me that I am a spirit being, having a soul which must not perish. Therefore, I put my body under a besetting sin. For Moses, he had problem with anger. For David, he has problem with lust. For Peter, he has problem with a kind of overconfidence. Always talking too much, always wanting to express himself. Every believer must understand himself. You must see what is your area of weakness. What is the weight that easily weigh you down? What is the besetting sin? What is the thing that easily sets you apart from the Lord? I'm excited to welcome you to Tunde Fume YouTube channel. We ask that you please subscribe to our channel for inspirational songs, powerful messages, and content that will bless you. Please do subscribe and you will never remain the same again. God bless you. My peculiar temptation. I'm sharing my testimony, my peculiar temptation. As you read Hebrews chapter 12 from verse 1 to verse 12, you will see, say, wherefore seeing we are also compared with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us. The reality from this text is this: we have sins that are peculiar, temptations that are peculiar, areas of weaknesses, every one of us. And God is aware of that weakness. In the area of your weakness, God will show himself stronger. That's one. The devil also is aware of your weakness. So when he knows that, he then sets in place and sets in motion a besetting sin. For Moses, he had problem with anger. For David, he has problem with lust. For Peter, he has problem with a kind of overconfidence. Always talking too much, always wanting to express himself. Every believer must understand himself. You must see what is your area of weakness. What is the weight that easily weigh you down? What is the besetting sin? What is the thing that easily sets you apart from the Lord? Because the Bible said here, we must set apart, we must lay apart every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us. And for me, I also add an area of weakness. And I have peculiar temptation. And to me, it was a temptation of the sin of the flesh. And so, to deal with that, I needed to stay farther from those objects of temptation. When you know yourself, then you relate with people based on that understanding. Some ladies may, some people may find it difficult. Why is it that I keep farther gaps from ladies? Not because, even those that are godly ladies, I deliberately do that because I do not want myself to fall to my peculiar temptation. So I'm challenging you out there for my testimony. Know your area of weakness. Know your peculiar temptation and make sure you conquer and overcome them. And God will give us victory in Jesus' name. For me, I needed to master my body. I needed to conquer my flesh. And when I read this verse, you can read yourself, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. It says there, I put under my body, that was Apostle Paul talking, and bring it to subjection, so that after I preach to others, I will not be a castaway. You see, God gave me a personal application of that verse, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. And it means to me that I am a spirit being, having a soul which must not perish. Therefore, I put my body under. When you know yourself, you know how to handle it. And in life, I needed to learn this lesson. And these are the lessons I'm sharing with you. I learned in my peculiar weakness, my peculiar temptation, that I must trust God and obey his word always. You see, when you are falling to something over and over again, the tendency is to give up and say, there's no point trying. I prayed before I fell again. I stood before I fell again. Now that giving up spirit is what God needs to let you know. You need to trust God to keep you. After you have prayed, don't say, I'm afraid I will fall again. If you are so much fearful to fall, you will easily fall. And that is why you need to trust God and obey his word. God taught me that. in times of difficult temptation, peculiar temptation, trust God and obey His word. Number 2, fear God and flee at all costs. I learned that in peculiar temptation, you need to fear God. And what does it mean to fear God? F in that word fear is to be conscious of the fiery judgment of God. Fiery judgment of God. That the judgment of God will come on any sin I do, either it's secret or public. E in that word fear is to be conscious of the eminent, the evident evidence, the eminent evidence of the soon imminent return of Christ. Let me explain what I mean. E there, the evident, imminent return of Christ. Evident, that is, it's clear that Jesus will come very soon. And that evidence of the imminent return of Christ is seen by the signs of the times. And so you have to be conscious of that. That's fear of God. Then the A in the word fear is being conscious of the all-seeing eye of God. So know that the eye of God is seeing me. That will make you to fear God. Then the R in fear is to be conscious of the reward. Reward for righteous service that we do to God. That I don't want to lose the reward of the services I've done to God. So I will fear God and flee from all sins at all costs. Now, the third lessons I learned in dealing with my peculiar temptation is that I must love God and serve Him unconditionally. Love God. When you are tempted, remember your love for God. When you are persecuted, remember for your love for God. When you have difficulties in your life, remember your love for God and serve Him unconditionally. These are ways to deal with peculiar temptation. What I learned in dealing with my peculiar temptation.
When you're all alone and no one's watching you, does it matter then? You wonder what I do. Can I say and go wherever as I please? Can I let into my heart vain thoughts like these? Youthful lust will tempt you as life's way you go, and it takes a fearsome battle to say no. With God's power and a firm, decided mind, you the joy of victory will surely find. Your decided mind keeps the world outside, just like Joseph with determination say, oh dear God, how can I sin? Let this evil end. From such wickedness I'll always flee away. From your early youth become a warrior true. When temptations come, resist, He'll strengthen you. Jesus lives and intercedes for you each day, and with Him beside you, victory you'll gain. He who overcomes God's promises will gain. In God's temple as a pillar He'll remain. Filled with joy and happiness you'll surely be. Soon with Jesus you will reign eternally. Your decided mind keeps the world outside, just like Joseph with determination say, oh dear God, how can I sin? Let this evil end. From such wickedness I'll always flee away.